If we do a good job as fathers, if we do a good job as men, serving those that we are responsible of, then without a doubt, they're going to celebrate you. Right, winners, man, you're now watching and listening to a new episode of the Tackle Thursday with JK Podcast. I am your host, JK, and you know I'm all about helping young adults win in life and at life, and I do so by tackling different topics on each episode of the podcast that young adults may experience, young adults may face, and I do so to help young adults ultimately win at different areas of their life. And so today is no different. Today's no different. It is a special new day, though. First time I'm going live on TikTok, man. Just trying some different things, man. And I like the interaction that I see from other people's lives on TikTok. So I decided to record the podcast live on TikTok to see the responses and the engagement and different things like that, man. And so today, for today's episode of the Tackle Thursday with JK Podcast, the topic of today's episode, what we're tackling today, is a topic called Fathers Serve the Family, right? It's a statement, right? Fathers serve the family, or I believe fathers should serve the family, right? We're coming up on Father's Day. And, I think sometimes Father's Day, can be forgotten. I was at a particular place today, and I was leaving, and the people were like, "Oh man, have a good Father's Day," and two other people were like, "Oh man, I forgot it's Father's Day," right? And a lot of times, man, Father's Day can be forgotten. Especially, just even living in the U.S. is you don't really see too many Father's Day commercials. You don't really see too many Father's Day sales, right? And so that kind of leads to the topic in a sense where fathers serve the family, or my belief, my perspective, like our job as fathers, as men, is to serve our family, right? And as a husband, my job is to serve my wife. As a father, my job is to serve my kids. As a leader of my household, right? It's to serve, right? And I get more into that. And so some that may be listening to this or that hear this may be saying, hold on, wait a minute, bro. Like, fathers should be celebrated. You're right. Fathers should be celebrated. We should be celebrated, right? We deserve to be celebrated. But also, though, I think our primary role, right? The celebration ain't up to the fathers. The celebration ain't up to the men, right? The celebration is up to those that we serve. And if we do a good job serving the people that we are in control of, or we are responsible of, I should say, not control, but in response, if we do a good job as fathers, if we do a good job as men, serving those that we are responsible of, then without a doubt, they're going to celebrate you, right? And one thing I realize is that, perspectives really shape the way we do things in life, right? That how we see certain things in life will determine if we do something, will determine if we don't do something. It'll determine if we change our mind about something or how we do something based on our perspectives, right? And so I guess my question that I'm posing to you is like, what's your perspective on fatherhood? And this is for men and women. When I say, what is your perspective of fatherhood? Because everybody can have different perspectives. I'm not going to sit up here and say it's only one specific perspective or view that you should have of fatherhood. But what I realize is that our perspective of fatherhood can determine our expectations of the fathers in our lives. And in turn, it can determine on if we feel like our fathers are being successful in our lives, or it can determine our perspective on what a father should be, can determine our expectations of the fathers in our lives, right? If blessed to have the fathers in your lives, and then it can determine if you feel like you have a good father in your life, right? Based off our perspectives. And so my perspective, one of the perspectives that I had, and I don't think I always seen it this way or had this perspective, But the perspective that I want to talk about just briefly today, man, as we approach Father's Day, and that I believe that all my men out there, whether you are already a father, you want to be a father one day, or you an expecting father, meaning you and your significant other or your wife are married or y'all about to have a baby, right? I want my fathers to adopt this perspective, the perspective of fathers serve the family. You know what I'm saying? And then even my men, right? The men out there that you don't have kids yet, you're not married, but you might be dating. That as men, I believe that is our job to serve the women, the woman singular, right? That we are with. It's our job to serve, right? And so for the ladies that listen to this or watch this, or that are watching it right now, when I say I want you to adopt the perspective of fatherhood is that or that fathers should serve as well, right? So whether you can go back and take this topic or share this to your father in your life, stepfather, your biological father, or the father of your kids, that you can say, hey man, look, I was listening to this podcast and he said that man, fathers should serve the family. And I know, fellas, man, just when you hear like, hold on, serving, like, hold on, now I'm the man, I'm the king of this castle. Kings should be served, and I get that idea, and I was one, right, that I have uttered in my relationship, like, man, I'm a man, right? I have reminded my wife, I have told her, hey man, I'm a man, right? But I think that it was immature of me to utter that, right? Because what I was trying to say, right? When we say that as men, like, man, I'm a man. We try to say like, nah, I'm gonna stand on my one. I'm gonna do what I do. I run this type thing, right? But that's immature because and I'm a believer in Jesus Christ, and so how God as the leader of a family, as husbands out there, as a leader of your wife, fathers out there, as a leader of your kids, that as the leader, yeah, we are the men. But being the man doesn't mean, I just get to do whatever I want to do. Being the man doesn't mean, my whole family just got to do what I say do. And that's it. That's the bottom line. I don't believe, I don't believe that perspective is accurate when we talking about leading the family, leading your wives, leading your significant other, leading your kids. I don't think being the man in your family means that. But so many men, even so many women, have that perspective of if a man leads a family, it's a dictatorship. And that's how a lot of men, their perspective of fatherhood is, their perspective of being a man and leading their wives, or leading their significant others, or leading their families is, hey, this is a dictator. You gonna do what I say do. But to be honest, that's not the perspective that I think that as men we should have. And I think that when we have that perspective of, I'm the man, and my wife or my significant other or my kids, they're gonna do whatever I say do. I run this. I got all to say so. I think that can lead us down an unhealthy place. I think it can result in having an unhealthy marriage. I think it could result in having an unhealthy dating relationship. I think it could result in having an unhealthy relationship with your kids when you think like that, right? Because the Bible tells us that he tells the men, he tells the husbands, he said, love your wife like Christ loved the church, right? So when you look at being a father, when you look at being a husband, when you look at being a leader of your significant other, men, right? When you look at leading another woman, I'm saying when you look at leading a woman, that perspective of loving them like Christ loved the church, you got to think about it, because you are the church. I'm the church. So when I think about Christ loving me, that I have to love my wife, I have to lead her in a way and love her in a way like Christ loves me. Then I think I'm like, okay, what did God, what did Jesus come down here and do? Jesus came down here and served. That his love, the way he displayed his love for me was sacrifice. He sacrificed his life for me. So when I say that, the perspective as we enter fatherhood, that fathers, where we need to adopt this perspective and realize that, yo, my job as a husband is to serve my wife, or my job. And I know even if you are dating, fellas and ladies, y'all know, y'all listen, y'all need to let them know, like, look, this is, especially if y'all are believers in Christ, like, let them know, like, look, like, this is your job. This is what you're supposed to do. And what I mean, right, your job, even as you dating a young lady, fellas, is to serve. You feel me? It's to serve her. Now, that doesn't mean, oh, you just do whatever she wants you to do and you never get anything that you want. Or I'm not saying that, but my responsibility is to love my wife like Christ loved the church. Well, Jesus Christ came down here, he sacrificed. Jesus Christ came to serve. So if that's the perspective that I'm gonna have of being a husband, then I got to make sure that I serve my wife. And I struggle with that for a long time, and it's still not easy. I'm better at it, but it's still not easy because I didn't always have that perspective, because I had the perspective as a man that things got to be fair, right? Like, hold on now, like, hold on, Brittany, you want this. I mean, I got to get that too. It got to be fair. But then I remember my homeboy, one of my teammates, man, he told me, he said to me, man, when I was, when we was playing in the UFL, man, he was just telling me about a story about, you know, a time him and his wife, it was about a chip bag, right? Or some chips. They got something to eat, right? And so when he got something to eat, his wife asked him, hey, can I get something? Can I get something to eat, right? And he was like, yeah, sure. But then when his wife ended up getting something to eat, she said, he asked her, he said, hey, can I get some? She said, no. Right? And he felt the way. Like, he felt the way, right? Rightfully so. And I think for me, a lot of times I struggled with, man, why it ain't fair? But the thing is, from the get-go, God never made it fair. He never made the responsibilities of a husband and a wife the same. He told husbands, love your wife like Christ loved the church. He didn't tell the wife that, right? He gave them different instructions. So what my homeboy, my teammate told me, he said, hey, bro, he said, they, in other words, he was saying, hey, they're going to love us in the way that they've been designed to love us, right? And we got to love our wives, or fellas, you got to love your significant other in the way that you've been designed to love them. And the way that we as men, we as fathers, right? We as husbands been designed by God to love our wife is we got to love them like Christ loved the church. So we can't think, oh, appreciate that, dog. We can't think that it's going to be equal or the love is going to be returned looking the same because God gave them different commandments. So what I'm saying is, where when I think about Christ saying love your wives like he loved the church, right? Think about it. Christ love, we can't even compare to how Christ loves us. We can't love God, right? We love God in our way, in the way that we know how to love God. But we can't, but the way that God loves us is in an unconditional way. And so my responsibility, your responsibility as a husband, as a father, as a loving your wife or your significant other is like, it got to be unconditional, right? That it ain't going, it's going to be, it might not look the same, right? And I think that's what our perspective is. A lot of times we think that what we give out should look the same. And even with Father's Day, think about it, right? Look how the America goes crazy when it's Mother's Day, and rightfully so. But look how America goes when it's Father's Day. People don't even know it's Father's Day on Sunday, right? Why is that way? That's not a mistake. That's what I'm trying to say. Like that's not a mistake. That's just how it is. But guess what? Fathers, you gonna get loved by your spouse. I'm gonna get loved by my wife. I'm gonna be appreciated by my wife, right? I'm gonna be told by people Happy Father's Day. But I know that Father's Day ain't the same as Mother's Day. It's different. But when I understand that perspective, that fathers, we here to serve the family, then if I'm here to serve, think about it. You go out to eat to a restaurant, right? You go out to eat to a restaurant. The server never expects anything back from the people that's there eating. We went out to eat yesterday. Went to one of my favorite restaurants, Red Lobster. Shout out to Red Lobster, right? The server, I never gave anything to the server. The server just kept coming out. What you need, 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 because the server is a server. So what I'm trying to say is, as husbands, as fathers, we are supposed to serve our wives. We are supposed to serve our significant others. We're supposed to serve our kids. That yes, we want to be celebrated, but your expectations shouldn't be, hey, what am I gonna get in return? What am I gonna get in return? Because that ain't the role that God put. God said, I can't. Jesus came to earth. God sent his only son to sacrifice, to serve, right? To serve. And so I think when we understand the perspective of our perspective switches a little bit as husbands, if it switches a little bit as fathers, and we realize, yo, my real job as a father is to serve my family. And when I adopt that perspective and I have that perspective, then I know every day I'm like, man, what can I do for my family? Man, hey, what can I do for my family? What, like I was just talking to somebody, when I get home from summer school, I get home, wifey pregnant, I'm like, hey, what you good? What you need? I'm calling soon. Hey, I need to bring something to eat. All right, boom. I get home. Hey, I'm about to go upstairs and get something to eat. What y'all need? I ask my wife first. Hey, what you need? Oh, can you bring me? Da-da-da. All right, my son. Hey, what you need? All right, dad. Can you? All right, my daughter. What you need? Because I truly understand now. I can't say 5 years ago I had it. I understood, and I'm not even saying that it's easy now, but I'm saying that because that God blessed me with this revelation and this perspective, that it allows me to understand this is my job. This is what I'm supposed to do. Like, my job is to serve them. Like that's what your job as a father is to do. Serve your kids what they need. Serve your wife what they need. Yes, we gonna be celebrated, and we deserve it. We gonna be celebrated. But what do our family need? And I think that if you are a man and you think that you should be served, ooh, that's a lot of arguments that's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. If you're a husband and you think you should be served, if you think you should be served by your wife, by your significant other, if you think that your kids should serve you, because you the man of the house, because you the king of the castle, because you running it. If you think your family should serve you, bro, it's gonna be a lot of disappointing days. It's gonna be a lot of arguments. Why? Because that ain't how it's supposed to be. That as the head of your family, bro, you're supposed to serve. Like, you're supposed to serve. 2 words: serve and sacrifice, dog. Like, so as we go to Father's Day, bro, I need fathers. I need your perspective to switch. Men, husbands, I need your perspective on your role to switch. 2 words: serve and sacrifice. And this is the thing, right? Because I struggle with this, right? I struggle with, man, if I do all of this, right? If I do all of this, what I'm gonna get in return? Right? Because at the end of the day, as humans, we selfish. We like, man, if I do, man, because my scholars that I teach, they be like, Mr. Kellem, okay, if I do this, what I'm gonna get in return, right? That's how we are as fathers. That's how we are as husbands. That's how we are as men. We like, okay, I do this, I serve. Hey, I appreciate that too, bro. I see, I'm like 1.2 likes. Like, what in the world? Hey, appreciate you, big dog. Appreciate you, Brits, dog. It's like, I'm like, dang, what I'm gonna get in return? But this the thing, though, the caveat, though, to it all. When you serve and sacrifice, when you serve your family, when you fathers, when you serve your kids, husbands, when you serve your wife, fellas, when you serve your significant other, and when you sacrifice for your wife, your significant other, and you sacrifice for your kids, when you sacrifice and serve well, they're gonna celebrate you. They're gonna love on you because you did your job. You took care of what you were supposed to do. So God gonna make sure, right, that you're gonna get that love in return. But it's when we try to be stingy as fathers or stingy as husbands, and we try to be selfish and we try to control the never and be like, nah, man, I'm about to be served. Nah, bro, that's when you're gonna run into arguments. That's when you're gonna run into issues. And this is what I had to realize, you know what I'm saying? Like I was telling somebody, I think having kids, having a daughter really helped as a father, right? Having a daughter, since Father's Day coming up, having a daughter really helped me understand my wife a little bit better, right? Because I think fathers, fellas out there, I'm pretty sure you probably could attest to this, man, right? So, you know, when you dating your significant other or you married, you know what I'm saying, you with your wife, right? You think sometimes that it's just your wife that do that. Or you think sometimes it's just your significant other that do that, right? that do that thing that you don't like, right? And so, or just do something that might irritate you, right? But my daughter, man, I say, man, about maybe a year ago or whatever, right? I was like, not even a year ago, maybe 6 months ago. I was like, Jayla, my daughter, right? I'm like, Jayla, what you want? What you want to eat? She told me, she said, Dad, can you go upstairs and give me something to eat? I said, all right. I said, what you want to eat? She looked at me. She said, one time she said, I don't know. I'm like, dang, what? I said, okay, so how am I supposed to get you something to eat? She said, surprise me. I said, oh, Lord. I said, you sound like your mama, right? But when my daughter did that, what it taught me as a father, what I learned in fatherhood made me a better husband because I realized, you know what? Dang, I thought my wife was just undecisive or indecisive, I should say, about what she might want to eat. But that's a women thing, right? My now I didn't got in the disagreements with my wife. I didn't went somewhere, came back, I ain't bring nothing to eat for her back. She told me she didn't want nothing. Fellas, you know, we straight to the point. I asked my, hey, Brittany, what you want to eat? Nah, I'm good. I ain't gonna eat nothing. I'm like, right, cool. I come back with something to eat. She looking at me like, why you ain't get? I'm like, you told me you ain't want nothing, right? Now, before having a daughter, I just thought that was Brittany. I was like, oh, Lord, all right, Brittany, man, you tripping, right? But my daughter, right? My son went upstairs and got him something to eat. He came downstairs. My daughter she crying. Oh, JK didn't give me nothing to eat. He didn't give me nothing. I said, Jayla, JK was like, Dad, she didn't tell me she wanted anything. I said, I know, son. And I just looked at my wife, and my wife just was like, dang, like, that sound like me. But I had to understand, dang, that's a woman thing. So what I'm saying is when we change our perspective and we start to realize that a lot of ways that your wife or your significant other is because that she was created that way. And so if your wife was created to be that way, then your perspective got to change and say, okay, God created her that way. And because I know she was created that way, then I no longer need to get mad at that, but I need to have a better understanding and adapt to how she was created. But I didn't understand that until I got a daughter. Because like I said, I'm tripping like, man, wifey, come on, you didn't even tell me you wanted to eat. But that's how they wired. In other words, what I'm saying is God wired us as men, as fathers, to serve our family. That's how we wire. And so what I'm saying is that our significant others, our wives, our kids, they're going to celebrate us, but they're not meant to serve us. For instance, again, my daughter on my birthday, right? I was going to work. My wife was like, "Yeah, Jayla woke up today crying." I was like, why she woke up crying? She said, "Yeah, your daughter woke up crying, talking about Daddy forgot my birthday." Now it was my birthday. It was my birthday. You feel me? My birthday. My daughter woke up crying on my birthday, saying I forgot her birthday, right? And it reminded me of on one Father's Day how we went out to eat on Father's Day, and my wife got some brand new Tory Burch sandals. I said, "How do you get a gift on Father's Day?" But when that happened, I didn't understand why. But now I see my daughter cry that I forgot her birthday, but it was actually my birthday. I realized that, they wired that way. They wired. And so what I'm trying to say, man, like if we understand that we here to serve our families, then we won't get offended about certain things. We won't get upset about certain things when it comes to serving our wives or significant others or serving our kids, because we will understand that, man, my role is to serve. And when you are serving your family, then yeah, you want to be celebrated, but you really not looking for anything in return. You get what I'm saying? Like God sent Jesus down, his only son, right? To sacrifice to die on the cross for us. He didn't come down saying, like, look, I die if y'all. No, he knew his mission. He knew what he had to do. He told him, I came down here to serve, not to be served. You get what I'm saying? And so when we understand that, and this even for women paying attention, the ladies that's listening and watching, this for you too, is that you could share this with your father, or you could share this with your significant other, or with your husband, or with the father of your kids, and in a good way, not like bashing them on the head, but also when you understand that your significant other, your husband, is the server of you, then you got to be more conscientious of making sure you celebrate them more often. Because if his role is to serve, then okay, I got to celebrate them much more. I got to let them know. I got to congratulate them much more. I'm talking about even on the smallest thing. Like I was taking care of something for the family, and my wife is great at this. She'll say, "Hey man, thank you for doing this. It's the smallest thing. Thank you, Jeremy, for doing this, celebrating me." And when I get that pat on the back, I'm like, "Oh, I gotta keep serving." You know what I'm saying, right? And so when you understand, like I think as fathers and as husbands, like when you make your as a husband, when you make your wife life easier, then she gonna look out for you. You know what I'm saying? Right? She gonna celebrate you. She gonna make you feel special. Right. And I think that if we do our job, because a lot of times we be wanting stuff in return, but we ain't take care of our responsibility first. Right. And so yeah, man. So I just want us to really adopt that perspective. Fathers, husbands, men in general, adopt that perspective of like your job as a man, your job as a husband, your job as a father is to serve your family. Serve your family. And then for ladies that's watching or listening to this or will listen to this, understand that yes, your father or the your husband who's the father of your kids, or a significant other in your life, yes, their design role is to serve, right? It's to serve. Especially y'all get married. Jesus said, God said, "Hey, husbands, love your wives like Christ loved the church." How Christ loved the church? Served and sacrificed. And that, right? But ladies, when you know that, then you got to make sure that you are celebrating the father in your life, that you're celebrating the husband in your life, that you're celebrating the significant other, the man in your life, that you're celebrating the father of your kids, because serving without celebration can get real. You can get tired fast if you keep serving somebody. Right? Think about it. Like I said, we went out to eat yesterday. If that man served our whole table and he didn't get no tip, come on, man. Buddy probably like, come on, y'all. I just served y'all for 2 hours and y'all ain't give me no tip. Not saying he did it for the tip, but it allows him to keep serving when he get a tip at the end. And so what I'm saying is that though the responsibility of the man, the father, is to serve the family, serve the wife, serve the woman, right? Serve the kids. That the kids and the woman or the kids and the mother, you should be celebrating, right? Your father celebrating, your father, your husband, father, your kids, your significant other, man. So just make sure that you do that, man. And so, man, but if this your first time, man, like hearing about me, Jeremy Kellem, you see my name, or my podcast at the top, Tackle Thursday with JK podcast, and you want to hear some more episodes, I got a whole bunch, man. I got 91 episodes on YouTube, man. You can go watch them. So you can listen and watch, get the whole video. And then you could go to Anchor or Spotify podcast, or you can go to Apple Podcast. And be sure to get a podcast to follow, man. I think that definitely targeting young adults. I'm on your boy just hit 35, so I'm on that north end of young adults, you feel me? But yeah, man, young adults through and through. But even if you're not a young adult, man, I just think that what we tackle, because it's fathers that's 18, it's fathers that's 15, it's fathers that's you know what I'm saying, 25, it's fathers that's 78, like, right? So different spectrums, but like I say, on the episodes, man, I tackle different topics that young adults experience. And so today, whether you are a woman or a man, I think fatherhood, we can all relate. No, women can't relate to being a father from the aspect of being a man. But we all either have a relationship with our father or we have a non-existent. So for me, I don't have a relationship with my biological father. Right. So I know that pain. I know what it is to have somebody that's your biological father and he has nothing to do with you. I know that pain. You feel me? But I also was raised by my father, my stepfather, but to me, that's my only father. Right. So I was raised by him. Right. And so different dynamics I can relate to. So even if you're not a man and not a father, you still might have different experiences with your own father that you can relate to what we talked about today, right? Or maybe your expectations of your father might change from the conversation we had today. Maybe you were expecting too much of your father. Maybe you're not expecting enough of your father in your life. Maybe he ain't serving you. And maybe you can have this conversation, be like, your role in my life is to serve. And when I mean serving, I'm not talking about just being a maid. You get what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is serving. I'm talking about making sure you good, making sure you good emotionally, mentally, physically, psychologically, financially, in the way that that person can financially support you. In different, right? So when I'm saying support, that or serving, I'm not saying just being a maid to a person, but I'm saying like making sure you serve them, making sure they good, making sure that you're serving and sacrificing for them, man. And so and then to the fathers out there, this is just a way that we could look into the mirror, examine our own lives, examine like if we've been doing, had the right perspective, or we got the wrong perspective, or maybe we thought we should be served in our own house because we the man. It's like, nah, bro. Yeah, you the king of your castle, but I know kings get served, but no. How this work is, we serve our family. We serve, you serve your wife, you serve your kids, you serve your significant other, right? That special lady in your life. So, and I appreciate all the support, man. And hey, so it's gonna be an ongoing thing, man. I mean, it's already, like I say, I've been doing the podcast this my 5th year doing the podcast. So, but I just want to do something different and add some and maybe and not just help the podcast grow, but be able to impact a whole different audience on my TikTok, right? And being able to impact more people and be a blessing to other people and ultimately glorify God in the content that I share and produce, man. So with that being said, man, y'all continue to wake up, strive to win on purpose, be intentional about winning, and y'all have a blessed day, man. Y'all be sure to go follow me right now on TikTok. Follow me on Instagram, JK_impacts. Follow me on YouTube at Jeremy Kellem. Go subscribe to the podcast on Spotify podcast or Apple Podcasts, man. Y'all go follow my family page, Kellem Family Moments on TikTok. Right, wifey be holding it down, putting some dope, amazing content out. Y'all go follow our family page, Kellem Family Moments on Instagram, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, wifey doing her thing with that. Y'all go follow our YouTube, Kellem Family Moments, man. Shoot, go get our book. You know what I'm saying? Titled, you know what I'm saying? It worked for us, right? And so you could do that on Barnes and Noble, Amazon, KellemFamilyMoments.com, right? So just, hey, appreciate all the support, man. And man, like I say, shoot, almost got 4,000 likes on here. So it's a blessing, man. So looking forward to coming back on TikTok, man. Y'all have a blessed night. Thank y'all.